In Italiano, verbi. Let's see how to use a dictionary to find Italian verbs. A quick review of the three conjugations in Italian, le coniugazioni. The first conjugation includes all the verbs that end with are in the infinitive. The second, all verbs that end with ere, always in the infinitive. And finally, the third conjugation, the verbs that end with ire. For are, we choose amare. For ere, vedere. And finally, for ire, the verb partire. These are the infinitive forms. We go to amare and we split the stem from the ending that is specific of the infinitive of the first conjugation. Same thing with vedere. Ved is the stem, ere the ending of the conjugation. And finally, we have the third conjugation, partire. We break it up in two parts. We have the stem that never changes throughout the entire conjugation and the ending. So what we are looking at here, amare, vedere, partire, is the infinitive form of the verb. We bring them back together and we have amare, vedere, partire. I like to work with word reference. So we go to the home page and check the scroll down menu until we find the English-Italian option. At this point, we simply click the main search without entering anything in the field. And here we enter the search field to love, which is the standard verb that all textbooks use. We enter to love and we find the results. We immediately notice that there are several entries. This part is extremely important. After the word love, we see the letter N, which stands for noun. Mouse over the letter N and it tells us that it is a noun. We move to the right and we see that the translation of the noun love in Italian is amore. And what about the two little letters N, M? It means noun masculine. This information is very important. The dictionary gives us the category of the word noun and also, in this case, the fact that it is masculine. By the way, the dictionary only gives the singular form always. Here we come to the next entry, another noun with the translation. Next entry, and we notice that the information tells us that this is a V. It is a verb. TR means transitive, but it's an information that we can do without right now. The meaning of this to love is to feel affection, and it gives you the translation, voler bene. In Italian, this expression is used almost exclusively among family members, children and parents. And now we see additional meanings. Romantic love, amare, to like strongly, also amare, and then to love to do an activity, as in I love fishing. This also is translated with amare. Again, we look at the first one. The translation, as we saw before, gives us amare, and it says VTR, verb transitive, that you can ignore. Let's try now with another verb. I want to do to live. I haven't done this, so this is live. We click and we find the various translations. The very first one we run into is live, verb, I, which means intransitive, forget about it. And we see that the meaning is to reside, with the translation in Italian, abitare and vivere. Other meanings, to manage one's life, to be alive, to exist. The next is the adjective, which incidentally we pronounce live, not live. Back again to the original translation, to the top, and we pick abitare because we mean to reside. If the meaning that you want to give to live is to exist, then you will choose one of the other translations, vivere or esistere, for instance. Let's do another verb, and let's pick now a verb that we're going to use, to talk. Click Find, and the dictionary takes us to the page with the various translations. Inglese, to talk, is marked as an intransitive verb plus preposition. To talk with the meaning of to speak to address, and the translation parlare. Parlare. So the dictionary gives us the variety of meanings that a word can have and its translation. In this case, it is to talk with, and as a translation it gives us parlare con, to talk about, parlare di, or if you want to be really fancy, disquisire su. Never said that word in my life. And then we find another talk, which means to speak to one another, in this case, a reflexive form, so-called. And then finally we find another meaning of the word talk, but now it's no longer a verb, it is a noun. Now we see that the meaning of this talk is lecture, and we find that the translation is conferenza. One more are verb, to think. We find the translation, we scroll down, and we see that think is a transitive verb, and in Italian the translation is pensare or ritenere, supporre. The basic form is pensare. Let's see now with the second conjugation verb, something like to see. And unexpectedly, the first meaning that the dictionary gives us is to have sight. This is not what we're looking for. We are not trying to say that I am able to see. We want something more generic, like the meaning to observe, and we see that the meaning is translated in vedere. Vedere is a transitive verb, blah, blah, blah. We know that vedere, because it ends with ere, is a second conjugation verb. That's the important information. And now we are going to a third conjugation verb, to leave. To leave in English is intransitive, and here we are looking at the meaning to depart. Translation, partire. So we know that the translation of the meaning to depart associated with the verb to leave is partire, third conjugation. So to leave, intransitive verb, to depart, partire. There is another meaning of to leave in English, and it is to abandon, to leave behind. Well, the translation is different. Now the verb is lasciare. So now you know that when you use the dictionary, you have to look at the meaning, because the translation will be different based on the meaning that you are assigning to that specific English word in that particular context.